Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sabansford, and welcome you guys to another episode of the DREAMERSPRO show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got a bit of a controversial show for you guys, but before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. So you know there's been a lot of conversation surrounding the WNBA. One of the more recent debates surrounding the WNBA has been the conversation on that took place, the debate really that took place on ESPN First Take about a week or so ago between Stephen A. Smith and Monica McNutt. One of the precincts of their argument, one of the core precincts of their argument was they didn't like the word that was being used in terms of jealousy, attributing it to some of the other players towards Caitlin Clark, because we're talking about discussing that foul. And they were saying that, they're just being competitive. Stephen A. Smith's point was, look, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, these ladies are the ones that are bringing in all of the attention. And as a result of all of this attention they're bringing is going to lift the entire WNBA because of more viewership, more attention, people buying paraphernalia and all of that stuff. Salaries are going to be increased, which is something that you guys have been complaining about for years. But then we got into the other aspect of it where they were like, no, we don't look, there's certain languages you have to use when you're covering the WNBA. You can't use this word. You got to use these words. And now some of the women in sports were now trying to curtail how men cover sports. First, they were complaining that men were not talking about it. Then men started talking about it like, no, okay, now you need to talk about it this way. And at a certain point, I think earlier this week, I said, you know what, I'm tired. I'm tired already. I'm exhausted already. And it seems like I'm not the only one that feels this way. I tuned into a segment recently from Gilbert Arenas and these guys, and they were discussing this very issue. In the onset of this audio, they were going over the new stats and figures in terms of the growth of the WNBA. After they then listed all of this growth, Gilbert Arenas essentially said, look, man, what do you want me to say? Why do I even need to celebrate it? Because every time I open my mouth, I'm being told it's the wrong thing to say. These people are fighting me. So he's like, why are we even celebrating at this point? And I was like, he brings up a point that I think a lot of people are talking about, but very few have the balls to go on national television and actually say it. But they said it on Gil's Arena, not just him, but as well, Rashad McCann. So those are the comments that we want to focus on today. But before we even get into what they had to say, today's video is brought to you by our sponsor, Game Time, who's the official sponsor of today's show. Game Time makes getting NBA Finals tickets even faster and easier than ever before. For example, I am super excited about the games between the Dallas Mavericks and the Boston Celtics in the NBA Finals. With Game Time tickets, I can easily pick the best tickets for me. I love that I can choose between different deals. I have the option to select the cheaper deal, the best option deal, or my favorite, the flash deal. The flash deal gives me the option to find discounts that I can only find on Game Time. Once I select the ticket I want, I can view my seat. And it's not just restricted to the NBA. I can also look for the best ticket deals for other sports like football, baseball, or concerts, or comedy or theater shows. Included in my purchase, I also have a 24-hour return guarantee, a lowest price guarantee, event cancellation protection. So take the guesswork out of buying NBA tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Again, create an account and redeem code CLNS for $20 off. And remember, whenever you support this sponsor, you're supporting this channel. Thank you. So what we want to do now is we want to play bits and pieces. We're going to put it all together for you guys to hear some of what Gilbert Arenas had to say, hear some of what Rashad McCann's had to say, and then we're going to come back and give you guys our thoughts. Take a listen to these gentlemen here.
So WNBA released a report recently. Numbers are beyond impressive. Attendance is up 156% from last year, and more than half of all WNBA games this year have been sellouts. This year's televised games are averaging 1.32 million viewers, nearly triple last season's average of 462,000. Continuing, the WNBA's online merchandise stores already set a single season sales record with more than 4 months left in the season, and sales are up 756% compared to last year. And the WNBA social channels garnered 157 million video views through the first week of the season, an all-time high and up 380% compared to last year. The WNBA also set an all-time high for League Pass subscriptions last month with a 355% increase versus last season. That is. Shout out WNBA. Can they get some smoke here? No? You out here.
Wait, give the WNBA
some congratulatory some smoke.
for what? They're not happy about it. So what the fuck am I even happy for?
They're not even happy about it.
They are very happy.
Pissed off.
They are very happy about it. Don't buy into that narrative.
I'm like, what are we congratulating? Because it's, yeah, we're trying to congratulate them and the new stuff that's going on, but for some reason, we're having problems with it, so I'm not gonna say anything. You know what I mean? Right? So when we're trying to sit here and clap for the success, why should we clap or why are we clapping if they're not embracing it?
Facts.
And they want to keep bumping their head. They want to keep trying to shut the door. Like, she don't deserve this. She don't need to do this.
Well, that sound like
cool.
Sound like a relationship.
But it's like this. The one thing that we're talking about, does she deserve to be on the team? The answer is no. No one is saying she deserve it from her play. That is not the question. The question should be this: do y'all deserve more recognition? Do y'all deserve better jersey sales? If that answer is yes, no one's paying attention to you guys' work ethic and you guys want eyes on you. This person right here, these people are helping that, right? Because if I asked an owner who owns one of these buildings and says, hey, Asia Wilson's coming to town. She's gonna bring 10,000 people in seats, right? Clark is coming to town. She's gonna bring 20,000. What do you think the businessman is gonna pick?
Lisa Leslie said to Draymond Green, why don't y'all give us some money, or y'all money, to help with the WNBA salaries and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And you got an opportunity that comes years later where you can actually maximize that on your own by bringing this girl, and this girl onto the team, maximize availability, audience, resources, relationships, advertisements, marketing, all of those things go up. Like you said, salary cap even goes up because we're investing now into these new players. Mm-hmm. These new players we just talked about come from college where they had what? Their own fan bases. In my book, I always talked about when you are a college player and you've developed your own fan base through those 3 or 4 years that you did in college, and you go into the NBA, you have your own distinct fan base. Depending on what city you go into, that's gonna show up to see you because you was just there. Mm-hmm. Oh, we can't wait to see how you're gonna do at the next level. These are 3 players, Cameron Brink. These are the top players, but they all of them. You know, there's still Kate Martin, a couple other players that develop the fan base. There's certain people, right? So you look at this dynamic and you say, well, why is it that they're being so unreceptive to these new developments that help them?
So you heard what the gentleman had to say there. What are my thoughts on what they had to say? I think they make valid points. These are some of the points that I've been making over the last week or so. These are the exact same points. When I was listening to the Dan Le Batard show go up there and he was trying to scold men for doing a bad job covering the WNBA, and I'm like, what's this bad job that they're doing? No one could actually pinpoint when he said a bad job. What's the bad job specifically? No one sat up in that studio and said, but okay, excuse me, I'm really dumb, so you're going to have to break it down to me. Can you give me an example of what you mean by a bad job that men are doing, please? No one said it, which means that to me it was a pandering move. And I was stunned to see that in a room full of people, there were no varying opinions. Like it was just, everyone was in lockstep within that room. That's surprising to me. To me, look, there's a lot of attention surrounding the WNBA. The fact of the matter is the following. Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and some others are moving the needle. They are bringing in new eyeballs. Ultimately, this is what they want. If you listen carefully, they brought up the example of when they were asked Draymond Green, maybe y'all give some of y'all money, and Draymond Green got upset. He's like, what do you mean give us some? I don't understand. I'm lost. And now you find yourself in a situation in which you can finally generate some serious revenue for your league moving forward. And there's all of this resistance. At the end of Stephen A. Smith and Monica McNutt's back and forth, she says, Stephen A. Smith, you could have been covering the league 3 years ago. Nobody sat up there and said there was nothing to cover. But now that it's being covered and we're trying to shine a light on it, they're like, oh, no, you're doing it wrong. You can't use words like jealousy in the WNBA. That's absolutely offensive. Meanwhile, they use it all the time when they're referring to men's sports and men in the NBA. And I never saw this outcry. When did words all of a sudden become so important? When they were calling Russell Westbrook a blood-sucking vampire, no one said a mumbling word. But now all of a sudden we need to be desensitized to words. And by them putting all of these restrictions, what they don't understand is that they're beginning to turn off some people because they're like, I'm tired already. What's up with all of these rules and regulations? I need to do this. I need to do that. You don't need to do it like this. You don't need to do it like, we're tired. Number one. Number two, if they feel like, hey, maybe there may be some jealousy. There may be some resentment. You're telling me that no one has the right to express that viewpoint? Why? No, you don't need to say. Why not? They're just giving their view. Allow them to say what they think. And if you think it's wrong, fine. But you need to be careful with the words that you're using. Like, we're using the word jealousy. We're now trying to weaponize the word jealous. Think about that for a second. So I understand exactly what Gilbert Arenas is saying. He's like, I'm tired already. I'm exhausted already. Like, I'm tired already. And I think he brings up a good point, and I think it's a viewpoint that needs to be expressed. Because you guys better be aware that there are some people that feel like that. These are my thoughts. Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. We catch you guys on the next show. Peace.